Now I'm just going to talk about a little bit about the wizards that are available with Reform. In Reform version 12, there's an option that wasn't available in 11 or any of the prior versions, and that's this option up at the toolbar. It's called Wizards. And here you can see I have Backup Restore, Create PDF plus Text, Simple PDF plus Text, CSV Wizard, Tag Doc Barcode Wizard, MultiPart, PrePrinted Forms, multiple destinations, and these wizards are here basically to try and make things a little bit easier to use Reform. The first one here, Backup and Restore, what it actually does is it creates a backup folder of Reform. It then allows you to restore from a specific backup. So if you're debugging or you're modifying your forms a lot or scripts, what you can actually do is just run this wizard, and it's going to give you a little bit of information about it. It just says it's going to make a copy of your Reform directory. It'll also timestamp it so you know exactly when you backed it up. And it's going to tell me that I can't restore anything because I haven't backed up any files yet. So the only option I have is to back up files. And are you sure? I'm going to say yes. Now it's just going to back up the directory for me. And one of the neat things about the wizards is that it's actually written in the scripting language. So the same scripting language that you use for a decision maker or the page process scripts, which I'll talk about soon, is used for these wizards. So anything you could do with these scripts here, or these wizards, you essentially have the same flexibility when you're designing the scripts for to deliver your documents or for the advanced print driver for Windows. It's all done with the same scripting language. So here you can see it's done backing up the files. If I go to my Reform folder, you can see I have a folder called Reform Backup with a copy of all of my forms and everything inside of it. Now if I was to run this wizard again, it then gives me the option to restore files. And when I click on Next, here a list of dates and times would be shown so that I could choose which one I want to restore. I'm not going to actually restore it now because I haven't made any changes yet, but I just want to show the ability of the wizard. The next wizard we're going to talk about is the Create Simple PDF plus Text. And what this actually does is, well, let's describe what PDF plus Text is first. PDF plus Text is a PDF that is searchable. It also has an image. If you look at the PDFs created by Reform, if I look into my data folder, here we have our PDF. If I click on the text tool, I can highlight the text. If I wanted to, I could copy it, or I could search for it. So if I want to search for page 4, it'll bring me to page 4. Now, when you're printing from Reform and creating a PDF, this is built into it. However, when you're scanning documents and they're being sent through Reform, the only way to create that text is by using an OCR process. So what Reform actually does is, if you were to use Reform with some type of scanning process, it has the ability to use an OCR engine on the image and correctly place the text under the correct locations. So if we look at this image, if this was scanned in, Reform would attempt to place the word page under the correct location on this PDF and make it searchable just like this one. So to use this wizard, it simply asks you which form you want to apply it to. And when you click Finish, the settings are complete. There's the next wizard that we're going to look at. I'm going to just create a new form. Is CSV Wizard. And this is just going to make it easier for you to use a CSV file for form. Sometimes when you're laying out a CSV file that has maybe 50 different columns or different variables within it, it may be a hassle to draw each of them onto the designer. So I'm going to create a new form. I'm going to call it CSV sample. And I believe when I open a CSV file, I think there's one in the miscellaneous folder. So I'm going to open our sample CSV file. And I'm going to say it goes to the printer. It allows me to choose the printer. Next. And it's going to ask me, is the first line of the CSV file the headings? So if we look at our CSV file, you can see the first line says customer ID, company name, contact title, and then below it is all of the information. So the first line in this CSV file is the heading. So we're going to say yes to this question. And you can see it says Wizard complete. And if you saw, I'm not sure if you could see my screen as fast as it did it, but it actually drew out each box over the text on the text layer. And when we go to the design layer, it has everything laid out for us. So all we need to do is move it to the correct location on our form. Now it also, if I go to File, Page Setup, you can see it says Start Printing from Page 2. The wizard automatically set this to page 2 because we told the wizard that the first page was the headings. So we don't want to print the headings when we print this document. We just want to start at the second page where the data starts. There's then a embed tag.barcode wizard, and we're going to talk a little bit about the tag.barcode. What tag.doc does is it's kind of like a solution for a scanning scenario. Basically, when a document is printed from Reform, we apply this barcode to it. We saw the barcode before on one of the other forms that we showed, and I'll just draw one here quick. You can see it looks a little bit kind of strange or unique. And this barcode is unique to Reform. It's a proprietary barcode. And basically, when we print this document, it uses a database in the background. So if we were to print a document, it would connect to this database. It would give this document a unique barcode number. And all of the information that's printed with this document would then be stored in the database. Once the document is scanned back in, we read the barcode, and we pull the information back from the database so that we could route it using the information that was printed. So basically, if you're printing, say, an invoice, we would put this barcode on it, or a bill of lading, I should say. So we put this barcode on it. When it's printed, the information is stored in the database, so we know exactly who the document went to, the date it was printed, how much the total was, anything within that data stream. Then once it's scanned back in, we recognize the barcode, and we pull that information back from the database. When we pull it back from the database, we can take the scanned image, so the signed the image with the signature and any kind of handwriting on it. But we also have the routing information from the print stream, so we know exactly, who the customer was, the total of the the invoice or the bill of lading, and we can use that throughout the document when we archive it. So the next wizard I'm going to try is MultiPart PrePrinted Form. So if I click on this link, it tells you basically it's going to create several forms and link them together so that you don't have to manually do the linking. I'm going to click Next. I'm going to use the current form, and I want this to go to this printer. Click Next. That's going to just ask me how many copies I want printed. So I'm going to say 5. I'll finish. When I go to Form Properties, you can see it has a link to Alchemy Purchase Order, Part 2. And the form I have open is Alchemy Purchase Orders. So automatically created, if it can show me the list, here it is. This is the form I started with, and automatically created 5 different parts for that form. So it will automatically send it to the correct device. Now if I say OK, and OK. So now if I needed to, I could say the first one, I'll open the first one. And this is kind of what I was trying to say before, but maybe this will explain a little bit better. Say on the first one I needed internal copy. I could put that here, and then on the second one, I could save. On part 2, I could put customer copy. So basically, the scenario I was trying to explain before is if you need one data stream to create maybe 5 different printouts, whether they look the same or slightly differently. This MultiPart PrePrinted Form Wizard will step you through setting that up. The last wizard is multiple destinations. And let's say I'm going to open a different form. And it's going to let me choose the form. Let's say SMTP email. Next. Actually, there's a newer version of this wizard, but that's okay. So it's going to ask me, out of the 3 parts that I want it to do, where do I want to send this document? So I could say I want it to go to a printer, and then select the printer. Then I could say I want the second part to go to a device instead. So here I'm going to go to maybe email. Click on Finish. And the third part I want to go to another device. So let's say Save to File. So the first one should go to a printer, the second one should go to email, and the third one should go to Save to File. So now if I go to Form Properties, and I go to Visual Form Link, you can see I have 3 files, or 3 forms linked together. The first one says Part 1 and then the printer name. Part 2 goes to email, and Part 3 goes to Save the File. You can see the device that they're set to is already correct, and they're all linked together. So if you have one form that you want to send to different destinations, you could easily walk through that wizard to set up the form correctly. So here I have my form. And I'm just going to run the wizard again. That's going to ask me if I want to save my form. I'm going to say yes. I want to select a form to use. It already has the current form in there. Has the text file I have open already. So I want this to go to a device first. I'm going to choose Save to File. Actually, I didn't update that file. So let me update that real quick. Okay, so I want it to go to Save to File. Click on Finish. Ask me what type of file I want to create. I'm going to say a TIFF. And now you can see it's asking me the information about Save to File. Where I would like to save this file. I'm going to leave this as data. Next. I'm going to say sample folder 1 as one of the subfolders. I can then say maybe something from the data stream, like the company name here is folder 2. You can see it steps you through each subfolder that you want to create. You can create as many subfolders as you like. But I'm going to stop for now because 2 folders is enough. And it's going to ask for a value for the file name. So I'm going to say Sample Wizard. Click on Finish. And now I'm going to finish the wizard. Okay. So here's my form. And you can see down at the bottom here, the wizard actually steps you through the Save to File settings. So here I have my first folder. My second folder comes from the data stream. This is my file name, and this is the location I want to save it to. So the latest version of the wizard actually does step you through each step of configuring your form. So if I open the text file, BizComFaxPO, I say File Print. I'm going to go to my data folder. You can see I have a new folder called Sample Folder 1. And then I have 3 folders within it because each page of the data stream was for a different company. So here I have my Ace Plumbing images. Here I have Charlton Lumberyard, and then HGC. So you could see the wizard easily steps you through configuring your device. Any other questions about the wizard so far?